We're starting this show by trying to sort out the crazy world of politics. I'm joined by political expert O'Brien Murray and Jeff Coltin, reporter and co-author of Politico New York Playbook. So guys, we got a mayor's race that's going on. People are raising money. One of the big surprises may be that Andrew Cuomo actually has raised a lot of money. You've written a lot about it. Tell me about it.
Andrew Cuomo raised more money in 2 weeks than any other candidate had raised in 2 years. I mean, he blew the rest of the field out of the water, immediately expects to qualify for matching funds. So he went from an extremely late entrance into the mayor's race to instantly competitive financially.
So here's the real question. Does money play that much of a role in a mayor's race with ranked choice voting?
The answer is minimally so. Andrew Cuomo, I'm not surprised at all. If you look at his financing reports from before this mayor's race, he was still raising money for a state account, and he was raising money at the minimums to be matched, the 250 and below.
Match.
And an 8-to-1 match, you raise the money, and then the city gives you 8-to-1. There's no fundraising issue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so he has no fundraising issue.
No.
But Adrienne Adams does.
Mm-hmm. Adams is going nowhere. I said that here on the set before. She is not going to impact. She can't raise the money. She got in too late. She's got the wrong last name. She's the speaker, and every city council speaker that tried to do it before hasn't been able to do it.
But she does have an interesting argument, though, that she won't need on-the-job training as everybody else will because she spent so much time on the other side of City Hall and knows the job. Joe.
I do believe there's a lane for her. I agree that she needs to raise money quickly if she wants to get to people to know her. Because, yeah, sure, the people watching this show might know the city council speaker, but, you know, about 1.1 million Democrats vote for mayor, and a lot of them have no idea who Adrienne Adams is. And by the way, she's running as Adrienne, just Adrienne. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want to run for Adams because the Adams names is toxic.
But how much will it cost her to spend the money, say Adrienne, and people to pay attention to that name? And she will not get matching funds until about June 17th, if I'm not mistaken.
June 1st, but yes.
Last time around, 4 years ago, I remember getting money from the city for city matching funds right around Juneteenth, and it was a banking holiday, and that was a week out. So they say the 1st, she has to still file to get the matching funds. And she raises it 8-to-1 coming out 2 weeks before an election. I don't know what that's going to do for her. Early voting.
Doesn't Adrienne have to be on the ballot as Adams?
She will be. Of course.
I mean, what does that do? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she'll have to.
But here's the other thing. I want to talk to you about another big fundraiser here. Surprise. Zohran Mamdani is raising tons and tons of money. Does he have a shot?
Yes, he does have a shot. I mean, look, Cuomo is the dominant figure in this race right now, but Zohran Mamdani, even the people that completely disagree with his democratic socialist politics, everybody is complimenting him, saying he is running a really good, impressive race. He has lots of grassroots energy. He has the most donors in the race by far. Sure. And he's sticking to a message. It's very impressive. He just might have a ceiling as a democratic socialist.
But you know who's got the ceiling, though, too? Is Andrew Cuomo. His number 2 votes aren't there at this point. Right now, he's in mid-30s in the polling. I don't see him getting to 40 on the second ballot by what he's got. Whoever drops on the bottom, they're going to be so low as far as votes.
Who's going to win? I mean, not who's going to win, but I mean, so if Andrew can't make it and Zohran Mamdani, I mean, he's got a lot of momentum.
The progressives are going to get together and beat each other up and also have a kumbaya moment and say, vote for me, number 2, vote for me, number 2, vote for me, number 2, number 3s and 4s. In the past, it was only 1 and 2s. There will be a don't rank Cuomo movement and so forth. Mm-hmm. And historically, I believe there's only been one ranked choice vote nationally that has ever worked where the lead vote getter on the first ballot didn't win the race. I think it was the Oakland mayor a number of years ago. Mm-hmm. So this could be another time like that if Cuomo cannot get above 40 by about the 4th ballot.
So here's the question. What does his Rose Garden strategy get for him? The fact that he is, you know, basically not doing many interviews. He puts out these press releases day after day after day.
It gets him bad press because he's not talking to you guys.
We're frustrated, I'll admit it. Yes, I would like to see more of Andrew Cuomo. He is not making a lot of public appearances, and that, yes,
but
admittedly.
Here's the other thing. Yeah. Okay, you can put out all the press releases you want, and he has all these policies about all kinds of things. Nobody knows about it. You know why? Because he's not talking to us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All the time he spent in Albany, you would think he would know the New York press better, have better relationships. He had all these months to plan. He could have met you guys for coffees, for lunches, for breakfast, for dinners, for anything under the sun. had off-the-record conversations. He could have done something out of the Pete Buttigieg book. And Pete Buttigieg did a fantastic race for president. Why? Because he met with reporters. Reporters, you guys are very simple. You're human. You know, you have to be fed. You can't be overfed. You have to be truthful. You have to be honest. You have to be open. You build that relationship with reporters and be authentic. It's great. If you hide behind staff, we learned from President Trump in 2016, you can do it yourself as a candidate if you're trusted and authentic. You can't hide behind paper and press releases. You have to be out there and meet them. And there are so many ways to do it today, too, between social media, between podcasts, between this couch, between a regular email that I get every day and read with you guys. There's so many people to talk to, and he's not doing it. I don't know why.
He would prefer for us, for voters, to remember Cuomo in 2019 and maybe the very early days of the pandemic 2020. He's running somewhat of a nostalgia campaign. He's saying, don't you remember how much life was better in 2018, 2019 when I was governor? Let's return to that. In a way, it's what Donald Trump was running for president on. He was saying life was better 4 years ago. I'm going to give you that again. Andrew Cuomo was saying life was better 5 years ago. Vote for me. I'm going to bring you back then. So why would he come out in public now when he's, running to the past?
I've sat here and said he's got a problem as far as all these stories coming out, and they're really burying him. What's missing is the positive story he has where he was, and I said this on this couch, where he was on everyone's kitchen table in their living room, in their bedrooms, wherever people watch TV every morning with their kids during the pandemic. That's the Andrew Cuomo that can win this. The Andrew Cuomo that I see today is having trouble, and not the Andrew Cuomo that is running a winning campaign.
We know that people are going to have attacked him because of the reason he resigned, which was the sexual harassment case. We know that they've attacked him because of the nursing home deaths. But I did an interview with Mayor Adams on Thursday, and he started talking about other things that he now blames Andrew Cuomo for. For example, he blames him for bail reform, saying he's the one who signed the bail reform law that has allowed a lot of people to get out of jail. He also blames him, believe it or not, for homelessness. But he doesn't call him by name. He says a previous governor. But of course, how many previous governors do we have? But he went through a long laundry list of things that a previous governor can be blamed for. And those are real things that real people care for. Do you think that that argument starts resounding with people and causing them to look for another candidate?
I think it could. I mean, yes, that's the downside of being the governor for 11 years, is that he has a long record. So for everything that people might like about Andrew Cuomo, there's definitely a lot of things they don't like. Even putting the scandals aside, just saying the actual policies, yes, there are things that are real vulnerabilities for him. So I think that really could start weakening him if the candidates, find the piece here and there that doesn't pull well, find what annoys voters about Cuomo's record. He has his defenses. He's going to find his ways around that, but it's a vulnerability.
Who's going to spend money against Andrew Cuomo when they think he's going to win? Very few people. But with the media attention he's getting right now on the negative stories with nothing positive, that's going to be a chink in his armor. And at the end of the day, if he continues to stay where he's in the polls and not show any momentum forward, I think you'll start seeing some of that money I never thought was going to come into this race to come against him.
So here's the next question. Mayor Adams, does he run for re-election, and does he run as a Democrat?
So, as we speak, his case has not yet been dropped. The federal case is still there. We're all waiting on the judge to make a ruling. That could come at any moment. The expectation, the whispers, is that he is going to do something once that case is finally dropped. Maybe he's going to start campaigning. Maybe he's going to make a decision to continue not campaigning. I don't know.
But I mean, the mayor has sort of a bully pulpit. The mayor can have events and just be mayor, and people get to see him on TV every day. So
he has a great opportunity to run as an independent, and it is very unique. I mean, Bloomberg trying to do it as an independent at one point was very different where the city was and so forth. But right now, if you have a progressive win the Democratic primary and not Andrew Cuomo, and you have Curtis Sliwa as the Republican, and you have him as an independent, you have a situation there that could turn things on its side.
So what happens if that was the case?
The Democratic nominee usually gets about 750,000 votes, depending upon who you are. De Blasio was 780, then 760. Sliwa is about 4.
If the Democratic nominee is Andrew Cuomo, is it the same?
No, I think that changes. It's a tougher thing because Andrew Cuomo is the more moderate at that point. Compared to the progressive. The progressive will hold the far left, Curtis on the right, and the middle is open.
Does Mayor Adams decide to run as an independent?
So he would have to decide by mid-May. If you want to run as an independent, you need to petition and get on the ballot before the Democratic primary is decided. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Adams or other candidates try that option and just so it's an option to run in the general election. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. But yes, we could have an interesting general election with not just Democrat versus Republican. We could have a 5-way general or something. It could be fascinating.
The mayor has to do what's best for the city of New York. The mayor has to do what's best for him. I think those two are in line. I don't think they collide. I think there's a great opportunity. And sitting here before, I don't recall saying this, but I think he can win as an independent if Andrew Cuomo is not the nominee. Now, the other thing is Andrew Cuomo is the nominee, and he is so bloodied from it, and the issues that are attacking him hurt him in the general. When you have millions of voters show up potentially, you have a great opportunity again for him to turn out the vote, excite the voters, and really turn the city and be independent. There's not a Republican way to do this, run the city. There's not a Democratic way to run the city. You have to run it from both sides.
Okay, well, we're going to have to leave it right there for now. But next up, the head of the Detectives Endowment Association. That's coming up. We are back with O'Brien Murray and Jeff Coltin. So the next thing I'd like to talk to you about is Chuck Schumer and the buzzsaw he ran into in his own party after he decided to side with the Republicans and approve a stopgap measure to continue funding the government until September. Why did that happen? I mean, it seems to me that he was looking down the line for what could happen, in the midterm elections and trying to consider, that as opposed to, closing the government and being blamed for it.
Mm-hmm. I think he was looking at being a government leader versus a political leader. And I think the way he sees it is that it was the better decision to, keep the government open, not force a shutdown, because he was afraid of what would happen in a shutdown. I mean, it was an undesirable outcome. But as a political leader, the decision probably would have been, yes, force the shutdown, create chaos, make it look bad. And that's what all of the Democratic Party faithful wants to see. They're demanding to see that.
Yeah, but wouldn't that have been stupid? Because then the Republicans could have continued it for 6 to 9 months and let everybody go and decimated the government.
That's exactly his argument. Yeah, that this was the right decision.
But is it a right argument?
From what I've read, that yes, Schumer is making, again, a straightforward government argument. This was the right decision. It's just from a political side of things, this was not the right decision, clearly, because everyone's furious and they're making a lot of noise. At least it was not the right decision in the short term. Long term,
Chuck Schumer is a brilliant politician. Has a great history in New York. Has done great things for New Yorkers. I use the word has. I love you greatly. What have you done for me lately? You're only as great as your biggest deal, your newest deal, so forth. Lame duck Chuck is where we are today. I mean, that's really what it's come down to.
Is he a lame duck now, or he's going to be a lame duck in 2028 when he's up for re-election?
I think he doesn't make it to 2028.
What do you mean? He'd have to resign. I cannot imagine that Chuck Schumer will resign.
But let's go through this for a second. 2 years from now, he's still going to be the minority. The calendar, the way it looks right now, and the way the map looks, Chuck Schumer will not be near the majority office for 4 more years. How old was Harry Reid when he stepped down? What happened when we had Joe Biden as president and we had an age issue? And now you'll have another presidential race going on, and the leader of the Democratic Party is going to be who? You'll have a presidential candidate, and I've said Hakeem Jeffries should be out there right now. If Andrew Cuomo becomes the next mayor, he has a chance to be the national leader. But at that same point, Hakeem Jeffries should be and has the opportunity. The Democratic Party is not going to be led by 2 men from Brooklyn, one black, one Jewish. It's not going to happen across this country. And Chuck Schumer can't even lead a rallying cry at a press conference.
Jeff, do you agree with that?
Well, that's already happening. I mean, right now, I've always have found it fascinating that, yes, the 2 legislative leaders live like a mile apart from each other. They're right on each side of Prospect Park. That's a fascinating situation. Right now, they are the leaders. I agree that, 2028, I would be surprised if Chuck Schumer were still the leader in 2029. I think maybe by that time, the Democrats might look for a new Senate minority leader, or maybe majority at that time. Who knows?
Yeah, but if he takes the majority, he's still the leader.
He might not even run for re-election in 28. That's a far way away. I mean, we have no idea.
Mitch McConnell stepped down from leadership 2 years before his term expired with health conditions and so forth. And he has a Democratic governor in Kentucky, so therefore he couldn't step down and be replaced. You have Kathy Hochul that could replace him if he steps down anytime between now and the end of her term. And
do you know Chuck Schumer? Do you really?
Sure we do.
Do you really think that Chuck Schumer is going to resign? Excuse me, I do not.
I'm not sitting there saying he's going to specifically roll over tomorrow and resign, but he can pick the next leader like Harry Reid did when Harry Reid chose to leave. And how many people?
Think that Chuck Schumer does that. Do you agree?
I think he's not going to resign. His term is another 4 years. I think he's in it. But leadership, I'm open to other possibilities. Yes, I think he could pass the torch. That's something like that. Right? I think he will survive this current fracas. I think he'll survive. I think he'll remain on top of the party.
If he's able to somehow, he's got a tough election next year. He's got 13 people who are up for election, and of that, 5 are retiring, including in states like Michigan and places like that Trump won last time. So he's got a tough, board to take a look at. But if he's able to eke out some victories, that changes the whole dynamic.
No, it doesn't.
Why not?
Because the numbers aren't there. And Kirsten Gillibrand is running the Senate right now. She wants a mug of beer instead of a cup of coffee now to start her day. It is terrible right now, the way the election map. When you look what's happening now, you're going back 6 years ago. What happened 6 years ago? Who won? Why'd they win? And where they were? Across this country, there is not one single person I know of who says the Democrats can come near controlling the Senate. And when that happens...
But wait a second.
Yeah.
Here's the question. What if we get to the midterms next year and people are unhappy with the changes that have been wrought by the Republicans in Washington? You know, the tariffs are going to come home to roost. The economy might be in a bad position. Prices most likely will go up. People are going to be hurting. The promise of the Republicans was, we will lower the cost of living. If they don't lower the cost of living, I think the dynamic changes. What do you guys think?
And it's just generally the first midterm of a Republican president. I mean, always the president, their party loses seats. And you're right. I mean, if the current situation continues, Republicans could be going towards a historically bad midterm, at least in the House. The Senate, it's structurally different, and it's really tough for the Democrats in the Senate.
Okay, so now we have a situation where there's a budget, and they have to cut $880 billion from the budget. There are talks of cutting Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, things that people care about. You don't think that if, like Mike Lawler, for example, who's a Republican who has to vote for this, that if he cuts Medicaid, Social Security, and things like that, that his constituents aren't going to come screaming? And he's got 20,000 more Democrats in his district than Republicans.
Lawler's House seat is gone. Lawler will not be in Congress in 2 years.
Because he's running for governor.
Not only that, but he cannot win that seat. That seat in this off year goes Democrat.
But my point is this. Other Republicans are going to hear the same cry. You're cutting my Social Security. Sure. You're cutting my medical benefits. Don't you think that's going to cost them votes?
Only 1/3 of the Senate is up. When you look at who is up and where they are across this country and what states they are in, they are not going to lose those Republican seats. The ones that they held in 2020 when President Trump was up for re-election and lost to Joe Biden.
What about the House?
That's what we're talking about. The House is going to go Democrat. Yeah. I don't question that. History shows it. I mean, the only way it doesn't happen is if history changes things and you have an incredible Republican landslide that happens in a midterm of president's first term that's a second term. That's a weird thing, too.
Do you see that happening?
I don't see it today. I don't see it right now, no. But right now, you also have an economy that in New York, people do not know the price of gas every day like they do across this country. They know the price of eggs every day, but they talk about it. But what do New Yorkers connect to, and how do they feel, and where are they going to feel is in the economy? If they cut Social Security...
At the supermarket, for one thing.
Right. And the basket of goods that they go buy, they used to pay $200, and it was full, and now it's half full. That's what they feel. And when they keep on feeling that, yes, that will hurt. But if that basket gets to 3/4 full, that will be a benefit for them and for this president and for the Republicans. But what this president has been doing is been cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse side. I do not see change to Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security that are going to come out of the people's pockets. And what's going to happen is going to go more back to the cities and the states to control things and decide where to spend it and to have to pay for it. That's where the city's going to hurt.
Okay, next topic. The mayor decided to pick a new first deputy mayor, Randy Mastro. Good idea, bad idea?
An old first deputy mayor, going back to the Giuliani era, so going back 25 years, and then also going back one year to when Adams previously tried to make him corporation counsel. The city council said, not on our watch. But first deputy mayor, the city council doesn't get to choose.
So is this a slap in the face of Adrian Adams and the city council?
A little bit, but I think everybody understands that the mayor, it's not easy for Mayor Eric Adams to find somebody who is willing to be a first deputy mayor at this point.
But you need a first deputy mayor that's loyal to New York City, of which Randy Mastro has always been. He may not love his issues. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a brilliant choice. I thought it was a brilliant choice for corporate counsel. And I think going forward, it's going to be terrific for the city. He knows how to run the city. He's a great person to run the city for every detail along there. And the mayor trusts him. The first rule is you have to be able to work with the mayor and be the mayor's choice. City council has no right to step in and pick deputy mayors or approve them. That's what the charter says. It always has said. They may want to change it. They can't and they shouldn't go near it. Brilliant choice. Bravo. We need more of that.
One benefit of the Mastro pick is that a lot of the business community, the nonprofits, they were very happy with the choice of Maria Torres Springer, primarily because she was somebody they knew and they trusted. Randy Mastro has the same benefit. He's somebody that's been in this world for a very long time. A lot of people know him. A lot of people trust him. It's not like Eric Adams is bringing in somebody from another state, another world to run the city. Instead, he's bringing in somebody who, even if people don't like him, people know him. So I think that is a benefit to this choice.
Last topic, congestion pricing. Do you think, given what's been happening with the feds and Kathy Hochul, that there will be a deal between the president and Kathy Hochul, maybe involving the natural gas pipeline, maybe involving Penn Station, that allows congestion pricing to go ahead and Trump gets other things instead? What do you think?
I think it's possible. I was surprised to see that the Trump administration accepted a delay. You know, they announced it with kind of almost like an annoyed Twitter post. The Transportation Secretary was like, okay, I guess we'll give them 30 days. But that just shows me, I mean, you know, Hochul is actually negotiating on this. I think it's possible that the cameras will stay on because, yes, at the end of the day, this is...
Well, they could also win in court. I mean, they do think they have a good shot in court.
The court issue is a whole other conversation because that's one thing. And if they win in court, they're going to lose in so many other places. The best thing for this governor is to try to figure out how to cut a deal. I don't know how capable she is of doing that, frankly. And based upon what she's trying to request and get in return, congestion price is something that this president ran against. He wants to get rid of it. What do you substitute it with? You might have to substitute with just keeping things the way they are, because if you do take that money, at the end of the day, they may cut other MTA expenses and they may monies and plans and they've got. You have to be more creative. The way things have been done in the past is not the way to do them today. That's the wrong answer. The city needs so many changes, and all they're talking about is congestion pricing, helping with less traffic, helping with things above ground, and then some ridership increase in below ground. It still is a source of revenue taken from New Yorkers that have to pay. If you live down here in where we sit right now, you're paying $200 more a month just to drive around and getting nothing in return except for some streets that have a little less traffic. You're paying more for Ubers, more for taxis, more for driving, and you're getting nothing more for it. You're not getting more police officers.
The subways? What a concept.
What?
The subways are 120 years old. The signals have to be fixed. The tracks have to be fixed. They need the money to do that.
But you're getting more money for that, and you're also getting less traffic. I mean, the numbers are in, and everyone admits, yes, there's less traffic, and some numbers are in and suggesting that the economy of Manhattan below 57th Street is doing super well. It's totally fine.
I have not seen this. The real number that matters is sales tax, and I have not seen the sales tax numbers yet to show me whether they're flat or whether they're increased and what's going on with them. Because that to me tells me what the businesses are doing, and what the businesses are doing tells you what the retailers are doing and so forth. There are people not going to restaurants that are south in the congestion pricing because they're staying up north in the Upper West Side and Upper East Side and so forth, or out in the outer boroughs. They're not coming to New York. Where are they spending their money? What's going on to New York? That's what I think is going to happen. But I still think this is just a terrible precedent, separating out the city. If you live in Staten Island and you drive from Staten Island, you go across the bridge and pay the Verrazano Bridge. You pay the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, and you get into the city, and now you got to pay congestion pricing on top of that. Yes, you get credits. Yes, there's things around it. But this is a tax. And then in New Jersey, they're going crazy over there. Why are people in New Jersey paying more money for this? It is a money grab. It is a new tax that today is a low level and will go up. Let's remember, the governor lowered the tax rate because she chose to do it.
And it's supposed to go up to $15 again after a certain period of time.
Right. And then who's to say the next governor doesn't raise it again and the next legislature doesn't raise it? It is a new source of revenue they will keep turning to again and again and again, and it won't end. They have to find a way to control the spending, not increase the revenues across the board. The spending in the city is out of control on the city budget, the state budget, the MTA budget. All these things where they're spending money, no one has figured out, if I don't have the money, I can't spend it. That's what we do at home. Why can't we do that for our government and leave the tax dollars in the people's pocket instead of the government's pocket? We know how to spend our money. They can't make that decision.
And on that point, we're going to have to end. Thank you both for joining me, and thank you at home for joining us as well.